In example 3.4, I'm providing you with the graph of a function. The function definition starts with the mapping information. We have the domain given to us as -4 to 4, including +4, but not including -4. And we don't have an equation, but we do have a picture of the curve, and that's going to be our representation for the function. So some of the things that we're being asked here are going to be similar to what we saw in the opening example where we were looking for function values. So first part says f of 0. So let me come over here to 0. Here's where x is 0. And there is only one point that can be associated with an x value of 0 because I have an open circle here. I don't need to be worried about that one at all. So f of 0 is going to end up being 3. So 0 is going to map to 3. The next part wants to know what are the x-intercepts of your function. Those x-intercepts are the places where your graph crosses or possibly touches. So we have 2 crosses, 1 touch, and we will write each of those as an ordered pair. That'll be -2, 0, 2, 0, as well as 4, 0. And notice that we are not including the origin, which is 0, 0, because it's an open point, not a closed point, so it's not really there. F of -3, let me come over here to -3 on the x-axis, and I see that there is 1 point associated with that x value, and it has a y value of -1. So f of -3 is equal to -1. The y-intercept is the next question. What's the y-intercept of f? So again, because we only have one solid point and one that's open, we really do only have one y-intercept. So your y-intercept will be located at 0, 3. Then we have another request for a function value, f of 1. Let me come over here to 1 on the x-axis, and there is only one point that is associated with that one, and it has a y value of 4. We write f of 1 is equal to 4. And then finally, for part f, we're being asked to solve the equation f of x equals 0. So let me remind you of what we're supposed to be doing here. What this is saying is that we have our x value, which is coming from the first set, and we want that x value to map to 0. So we need to figure out what are the x values that are going to end up mapping to 0. Well, the good news is we actually already have this information written down. Back up here with part B, we said -2 would map to 0, 2 would map to 0, and 4 would map to 0. So we already know all of the x values that are going to map to 0. So we can just list them. X equals -2, +2, +4. And alternatively, we can write this using the curly brace set notation, -2, 2, 4. And those would be the solution set of f of x equals 0.